A learning curve is a concept that graphically depicts the relationship between the cost and output over a defined time period. This typically represents a repetitive task of an employee or worker. In business, the slope of the learning curve represents the rate in which learning new skills translates into cost savings for a company. The steeper the slope of the learning curve, the higher the cost savings per unit of output. A curve may be negatively accelerating, which means an employee will show early on improvements as a task is learned, with slowing of the curve as time goes on and the task is mastered. A positively accelerating curve will show a slow initial movement with increased performance as time goes on. An S-shaped or increasing-decreasing return curve measures an individual who is new to a task. The bottom of the curve indicates slow learning as the learner works to master the skills required and takes more time to do so. The latter half of the curve indicates that the learner now takes less time to complete the task and they have become more proficient in the skills required. Often, the end of the curve begins to level off, indicating a plateau of new challenges. A plateau curve occurs when an individual starts off with fast performance and then the rate flattens over time. Adult learners bring experiences and self-awareness to learning that younger workers do not, which means that when teaching adults, it's important to take into account characteristics and learning styles, especially how previous experiences influence their thinking. Auditory learners prefer sound, rhyme, and possibly even music to learn a concept. Concepts may best be retained by verbal lecture, a song, or using music. Visual learners prefer using images, pictures, colors, or maps to organize information and communicate with others. Helpful tools may be whiteboard explainers or diagrams. Kinesthetic or tactile learners use physical style, touch, action, movement, and hands-on work in the learning activities. Effective options may be on-the-job simulations, flashcards, or role-playing. Understanding the various learning styles should lead to an instructional method that covers the various types of styles. There's 3 main types of training methods. The first is passive. Passive is simply passing along information. This can be in the form of a lecture, video, PowerPoint, or even computer training. Passive training tells the learner what they need to know and may or may not be interactive. Active training, on the other hand, involves learner participation. This could include teams such as role-playing, hands-on learning, or group work. Experiential learning is often led by an expert that demonstrates what is to be done with a small group. Oftentimes, the learner may be expected to complete the task after training. An example could be an aircraft maintenance engineer being asked to perform basic maintenance on a new engine type after attending a training. Training room layout should not just be decided based on the number of people attending, but mainly on the objective of the event. Since the room layout can have significant impact on the training session, we should aim to arrange the room to support the learning objectives and the amount of participation desired. In a theater setup, chairs will be in rows facing a whiteboard or main screen. If we have a large group of people at the training, to get maximum capacity in the room, this layout is best. This layout also best suits a presentation-style training session, where attendees sit and listen to what's being said. For a classroom form, rows of tables with chairs on one side will all be looking forward. This is a popular configuration for conferences, but also in training sessions, as it allows people to listen to the trainer in the front of the room, as well as allowing for note-taking and teamwork. It's also a good layout for students to break into groups and carry out interactive tasks. This style can work for groups of any size. A boardroom style is one large table with chairs all the way around. This is ideal for board meetings, as the name suggests, but also for brainstorming meetings, as everyone around the table can see each other and discuss ideas openly. With a cabaret style, circular tables are placed with seats on one half, all of which are facing forward. This is ideal for special events, however it also suits training sessions, as everyone can face forward to watch presentations, but can also easily carry out group tasks and workshops with other people at their table. For a U-shaped setup, tables will be distributed in a U-shape with chairs around the outside circumference of the table. A U-shaped configuration is ideal for training, as the trainer can be in the middle of all the participants. If there is a presentation, it's easy for everyone to face forward while taking notes. Additionally, as everyone can see each other, it's easy to have a discussion around topics mentioned during the training. This is best suited for groups of 12 to 25 people. A Chevron setup will have rows of tables or chairs arranged in a V shape and separated by a center aisle. Participants face the head table or speaker. This group is useful for large group seminar type discussions and may or may not include tables. In the 1950s, Dr. Donald Kirkpatrick developed the Kirkpatrick's 4-level training evaluation model, which is now the best known model for analyzing and evaluating the results of training and educational programs. The model can be implemented before, during, as well as subsequent to training in order to show the value of training to the business. This model provides a framework for both designing and evaluating training, depending on the order we work through the levels. There are 4 levels through which to design training programs and measure their effectiveness, which are results, behavior, learning, and reaction. Reaction is the first level of measurement. This is usually conducted by a survey given at the conclusion of a training. Participants provide feedback that details how well they liked the training and their thoughts as to how the training applied. This, however, measures the immediate reaction about the training delivery and its environment rather than any actual level of learning. The measurement of learning quantifies how well participants in the training learned facts, concepts, theories, or behaviors. To use this measure normally requires HR professionals to use statistics and studies to interpret the results. When pre- and post-training measurements are conducted, control groups may also be involved. The results will indicate the overall effectiveness of the training. Behavior is more difficult to measure than the previous 2 levels because it can be difficult to determine if performance changed solely because of the training program, as other outside influences could be involved. In level 3, measurement, observation, interviews, 360 feedback instruments, and simulations can be used. Results, which is the last level, deals with the measurement of outcomes. This allows us to determine if the planned effectiveness of the training delivered the desired results. Just like when measuring behavior, the difficulty with this measurement can also be with determining if the training was the sole factor affecting the results. Typically, a cost-benefit of return of investment follows and helps validate the level 4 results.